And the agenda for tonight, Monday, the 20th of October, 2025, consists of two segments. The first one is the current news and healthcare, and the second is the heritage, culture, and education. And for the second part of our program, which is Khmer program, we have a guest coming to do a book talk with us. And the book that he started first would be written by David Chandler. So I'm looking forward to that book talk. Anyway, as usual, I have our community activist joining me as my co-host, co-producer.
It looks like we have so much on our agenda, Negru. So let's start with our health care news. So we have a video to share with our viewers. So please take a watch together.
From one of you for Dr. Darian. Here it is. It's from Catherine A. I sleep 8 hours each night, but how can I improve the quality of my sleep?
I'm so jealous.
You both know I'm so serious about sleep. I treat it honestly like a job. I have alarm clocks for when I need to go to bed. So Catherine, you've got the first thing down, which is the amount of time you want to have a goal for. Now we step towards quality of sleep, and we can do certain things in our bedroom that just make us have better sleep hygiene. Number one, making sure that your room is cool. You want to keep that temperature down. It's colder outside, open the window, you can use a fan. Also, you want to make sure that your room is dark. And one of the ways that you can do that is just make it dark for yourself. A sleeping mask is tremendously helpful. I have a couple of these around my room and I find them really helpful. Also, making sure that your room is quiet, earplugs, and then also making sure that your alarm clock is faced away from you. And so when you wake up in the middle of the night, that's okay. Just get up if you feel like you can't sleep. You can do anything you want. You just can't pick up a screen. And we've even got a noise machine here because many people have found that helpful to get them to sleep and keep them asleep.
So what is better quality sleep? Is it when you reach the REM? Because I've tried all of this and I'm still struggling. I'm much better. Much better.
It's honestly a learning process. Just like any activity, you have to work at it to get better. And so what is quality sleep? Yes, that's the appropriate amount of REM sleep. That's that sleep that we dream in. The appropriate amount of deep sleep. That's when our brain restores itself. And then general light sleep also is good. Many people ask, what happens when I get up in the middle of the night? That is okay. I've interviewed sleep therapists and sleep psychologists, and they say you can get up as long, again, as you do not pick up a screen.
DeMarcus says he has to pee a lot in the middle of the night.
All the time. I drink a lot of water, plus I'm getting old.
So is there anything that you should avoid before you go to bed?
There are certain things you should avoid. For example, making sure that when you're eating, it's at the appropriate amount of time between eating and sleep, especially spicy foods. You want to avoid that 2 to 3 hours before sleep. And then also caffeine. I know, Eva, you disagree with this, but I think it's important to avoid caffeine 5 to 6 hours before sleep. Some people will admit and confidently say they can drink coffee right before they go to sleep, but those are in the few and not the most. Also, bright lights. You want to make sure that it's dark at least 1 to 2 hours before. The reason why, you're trying to activate that melatonin, that sleep hormone in your brain. And then exercise. This is what I'm guilty of. You want to separate it from your sleep. If you exercise too close to sleep, it invigorates your body, induces those endorphins, and that keeps you awake. So you want to try to split that away.
The endorphins make people happy.
They do, but they keep you awake.
Says the caffeine queen.
Yeah. She's drinking caffeine and working out and then going to sleep. I don't know how she does it.
Easily,
It's
right?
called tired.
All right, folks, we would love to hear from you, so please hit us up on Instagram with all of your medical questions.
Wow,
For Dr. Darian. Here it is. It's from
this news hit home for me, Negro. So basically it's so important, right? So we got this news from GMA3, ABC TV. So basically Dr. Darren Sutton, he advised that, make sure when you go to bed, make sure your bedroom is cool enough, for the sleeping temperature, make sure that it's dark, enough for you to fall asleep and that it's quiet. He also mentioned that some people sleeping mask helps them a lot, and he also advised people to put the alarm far away from them. And he did say that you can get up in the middle of the night to go to the bathroom because that's natural, but make sure you don't pick up a screen. And he also provide other advice, like for example, make sure you eat within an appropriate amount of time before you go to bed, and make sure you don't drink any caffeine. It's hard for some people, right? If you have so much work to do and trying to cram everything before you try to go to sleep. But just want to make sure that according to Dr. Darren Sutton, if you want to get a deep night sleep, please avoid caffeine. And also he mentioned a few other things that are important to emphasize. So he mentioned that like also avoid bright lights within 1 to 2 hours before bedtime. And also if you exercise, make sure you do that at least 3 hours before bedtime. And spicy food, make sure you don't eat spicy food close to your bedtime. Make sure it's at least like 4 hours or 3.5 hours before your bedtime. And so basically, I feel so guilty regarding exercise because I am so hyper and I exercise so close to my bedtime, and I always stay awake for so many hours before I can fall asleep. And now,
Now
after
you know.
yes,
Now you know you're not supposed to exercise at least 3 hours before bedtime. Anyway, I just
exactly.
learned something new, Kanya, from Dr. Darian Sutton today, that when you reach your REM sleep is when you dream. Isn't that
Wow.
something? I never knew that.
Yes,
Did you know that the REM sleep is when you reach your when the REM sleep means you reach your you do dreaming? I
I did
didn't know that before.
I did not know that, Negro.
And it's so true about drinking caffeine before bedtime. At one night, I have guests coming, and we were drinking very bitter tea, lots
Mm,
of caffeine in there, and I could not sleep during that night. I
wow.
kept staying awake. So, but he also said that it works for some people, a few people, but for majority, caffeine does not work. It will keep you awake. So I hope our viewers hear this part that no matter what, caffeine is not good for you.
Yes, yes. But I understand it, right? Like some people, we just so busy trying to wrap up with work, trying to stay awake, and by the time, we try to go to sleep, we already had like 10 cups of coffee. And it seems like we have so many other important news to share with our viewers. So the next one definitely is gonna be regarding Thailand and Cambodia borders. So basically, it's the news regarding Thai violence. The piece video, so please take a watch together.
So this video is from
to urgently intervene
So let's
to
listen.
end this situation. Thai soldiers continue to violate Cambodia's sovereignty. They have extended their invasion to Paychan village, Obaichoan commune, Uchloi district, Bonteng Minchey province. Thai soldiers have also used tear gas against Cambodian civilians. We call on the international community to urgently intervene to end this situation. Thai soldiers continue to violate Cambodia's sovereignty. They have extended their invasion to Paychan village, Obaichoan commune, Uchloi district, Bonteng Minchey province. Thai soldiers have also used tear gas against Cambodian civilians. We call on the international community to urgently intervene to end this situation. Thai soldiers continue to violate Cambodia's sovereignty. They have extended their invasion to Paychan village, Obaichoan commune, Uchloi district, Bonteng Minchey province. Thai soldiers have also used tear gas against Cambodian civilians. We call on the international community to urgently intervene to end this situation.
So I have another one that was posted by Fua Konica. So let's take a
that there was no letter sent to Cambodia. America knows who is the aggressor in this thing. They would have sent a letter to Cambodia too saying, hey, you need to calm down on this thing. But they didn't send that letter. They only sent that letter to Thailand. Thailand responds, says, well, they need to move all of their troops from the border, which is a non-starter because it's Cambodia's land. They can put their troops wherever they want. And then they said that all the Cambodian people that were in the area that Thailand says is theirs, who have actually been living there for decades, need to relocate and leave their homes. So Thailand is demanding things that Cambodia is not going to give. The United States is directly focusing all of its attention right at Thailand because Thailand is the one that they are like, yo, you're the one doing all this stuff and pushing everything. So we need to talk to you to help you calm down a little bit because we need peace over there. So President Trump, my president, sent a letter to the Prime Minister of Thailand. The letter basically said, hey, we need you to stop. What do we need to do to make sure that this thing kind of dies down between you and Cambodia? The interesting part of this is that there was no letter sent to Cambodia. America knows who is the aggressor in this thing. They would have sent a letter to Cambodia too saying, hey, you need to calm down on this thing. But they didn't send that letter. They only sent that letter to Thailand. Thailand responds, says, well, they need to move all of their troops from the border, which is a non-starter because it's Cambodia's land. They can put their troops wherever they want. And then they said that all the Cambodian people that were in the area that Thailand says is theirs, who have actually been living there for decades, need to relocate and leave their homes. So Thailand is demanding things that Cambodia is not going to give. The United States is directly focusing all of its attention right at Thailand because Thailand is the one that they are like, yo, you're the one doing all this stuff and pushing everything. So we need to talk to you to help you calm down a little bit because we need peace over there.
Then I have another one from the INE. So let's take a look. Now, I must say that this one looks just like an AI information, but it looks so real that I would like to share with everybody. So let's just listen first.
I have heard that Thailand still tries to invade Cambodia and ignores the ceasefire which arranged by Malaysia. This will lead to Thailand into the world disrespect international law. I will call the world for sanctions against Thailand during ASEAN summit in this October in Malaysia. I have heard that Thailand still tries to invade Cambodia and ignores the ceasefire which arranged by Malaysia. This will lead to Thailand into the world disrespect international law. I will call the world for sanctions against Thailand during ASEAN summit in this October in Malaysia. I have heard that Thailand still tries.
So President Trump is supposed to be meeting with ASEAN summit at the end of October, around the end of October. And I hope this is the true spoken word from President Trump. What do you think about that, Kanya?
I really want any world power leaders to intervene, because we do need someone with such power to be on our side, or at least, to encourage the other side, which is Thailand, to comply with the peace treaty or the ceasefire agreement. And if, for example, if the president of the United States will be able to make that happen, I will definitely support that, because we need any kind of world leaders who can definitely help us solve these issues, because we are in this, and we are a developing country. We don't have that much power. We need someone with power to help us. What do you think, Negru?
You're absolutely right, because especially the United States, and if this is what President Trump was saying, the true spoken word of President Trump, then I, for one, is very appreciative of what he's oversee on the peaceful agreement with, between Cambodia and Thailand. And but if Thailand's still not obeying the international law, then Thailand is at fault. And as you heard on this video, that President Trump said that Thailand will be the first in the world to disobey the international law. So I hope that during the summit in the end of October, I hope that President Trump will attend, and I hope that everything will settle down between Cambodia and Thailand dispute. So next we have other things to share with, and that would be, so it started from when he fly from Ethiopia and to Bangkok, Thailand. So on board was Oli, a 39 years old East African IT consultant. And I'm sure he's probably got a promise from these people that he will get a lot of salary if he goes there and work for them. So, but unfortunately he got scammed across the, scammed into scamming across Southeast Asia. A multi-billion-dollar fraud industry has emerged, staffed in part by victims of trafficking. In lawless regions of the Myanmar-Thai border, compounds run by Chinese criminal gangs contain thousands of people forced to scam strangers online or face brutal punishment. Thailand has become a key transit hub for trafficking victims. This is how Reuters found out. And this report was done by Adolfo Arendt, Papi McPherson, Devjot Ghoshal, and Han Huang. And it was published on September 18, 2025. Last updated was September 20th, 2025 at 3 a.m. Eastern Time. I'm so sorry for the viewers that miss all of this drawing, which is, unfortunately, didn't realize until I look at the live streaming. Anyway, what do you think about that, Kanya?
As I mentioned previously, Negro, it's just so scary to travel to Southeast Asia when we hear these kind of stories. There are so many beautiful places to go and visit and to go and do. Like, for example, our country, Cambodia, is so beautiful, but at the same time, when you hear this scary story, you just feel so scared, right? To put your foot in the region. And do you have any updates regarding this story now, Negro?
Well, I just found out there's reports today And I don't know whether or not they have an update, but anybody who would like to find out more, they can log on to Reuters.com, and that would be reuters.com, and you can find out more about it.
Okay, thank you, Negro. I will definitely go and
So one more thing, our viewers and anybody who might be in that situation, just be aware that if the promise of your salary is too high and it's too good to be true, you want to make sure that you do your research so that you won't fall into a trap like Oli in this report. And before he found out, it was too late already. He got into that scamming project with this criminal, and however, he was able to escape. But once you get into that camp, and as you can see in this picture, the camp is next to each other between Thailand and Myanmar. So once you get there, it will be difficult to escape.
Right, it looks like the waterway definitely makes it harder. And Negro, do you know if there is any GoFundMe page to help this person and his family?
I have no idea on that, but the camp where they get all the all the people that they kidnap, it's run by militia. There you go. Some militia fighters were previously part of the border guard force operating under Myanmar's military and have continued cooperating with the junta.
Negro, and would you mind sharing the link to this page so that
What, I'm sorry?
What you are showing, would you mind sharing the link, like give it to our audience in case they want to go and look at the full story themselves?
Okay, I'll let you see the link. There you go. Can you see the link now?
Oh, I don't see the link, Negro.
It's Routers, www.routers. Can you see my arrow pointing to the link?
No, Negro.
No, you can't see? Well, I can tell, you can write it down. It's routers.com, and routers spell REUTERS.com /graphics/ Southeast Asia, and that is all capital, Southeast Asia, one word, capitals, -- scams also in capital, /, and then you will get into where I am right here. It tells a story about a gentleman named Oli from East Ethiopia, who was hoping to get a very high-paid job in Bangkok, Thailand, and who was supposed to meet a friend and stays there for a week or two, but eventually he was forced to work, which is a scamming work for criminal gangs, as you can see in this picture here. And if he doesn't do the job well, doesn't get the money for them, he will face a very heavy punishment.
This is so sad and very scary, and
and as you can see in this picture here, she's a woman and she was supposed to work on luring guys to go on a date with her, as you can see. And whoever falls for that luring will get into the camp where they kidnap you and will force you to work on scamming other people to get money for them.
Very scary, Negro. But I wish Oli and his family all the very best. I hope someone out there or some group out there are able to help all of the victims of human trafficking to get out of that hell. It must be so horrible for them to be.
So we get into part 3 where they try to escape desperately. And I think because our time constraint, we're going to stop right there. But I'm going to scroll all the way down to let you see how they try to escape. And eventually, Oli was able to escape, and he ran all night. And he eventually met someone who can help him to fly back to his homeland. Well, because this is such a hot topic, Kanya, we're going to have to share with our friends our contact information. So let's take a look. Voice of Khmer Americans, known as VOCA, live streamed on Comcast Cable every Monday at 6 to 7 p.m. on Channel 8 for VOCA English Language Program and on www.ltc.org/on-demand/CH26 for VOCA Khmer version from 7 to 8 p.m. It'll be replayed at 2 p.m. on Wednesday and Friday. Also, you can watch it again online at www.youtube.com/@2010VOCA or www.lintv.org on Tuesday at 9 p.m. and Thursday at 7 a.m. or live on Comcast Cable at the same time and the same date on Channel 3 and Verizon Channel 38. Here is our contact number, 617-461-9335 for live chat or leave a message. We'll get back to you as soon as possible. We welcome any feedback and constructive criticism. As always, we thank you for watching and supporting our volunteers in serving our community for the better future. And now we're getting into our second part of our show, and that would be the heritage, culture, and education. And as you know, on October 23rd will mark 34 years of Paris Peace Accord. It's the agreement that would stop the war between Cambodia and Vietnam. So let's take a look at the video clip first, and we can talk after that. Have you heard about the peace treaty, the peace agreement?
I read a little bit about it, Negro, and I cannot wait to hear more.
So let's look at the video clip and we can talk together, discuss about it later.
Agreement. Ceasefire and disarmament. The four warring parties in Cambodia agreed to a ceasefire and disarmament. Refugee repatriation. Provisions were made for the repatriation of Cambodian refugees and displaced persons. UN involvement. The agreement led to the deployment of the United Nations Transitional Authority in Cambodia, UNTAC, the first UN peacekeeping mission since the Cold War where the UN took over governance of a state. Elections and human rights. The agreement promoted human rights, free and fair elections, and principles for a new Cambodian constitution. Significance and outcome. The Paris peace agreements were signed by 19 countries, including Cambodia, in the presence of the United Nations Secretary-General. The agreement aimed to restore peace in Cambodia and ensure the exercise of the right to self-determination of the Cambodian people through free and fair elections. The Paris Peace Agreement on Cambodia, officially known as the Comprehensive Cambodian Peace Agreements, was signed on October 23, 1991. This agreement marked the official end of the Cambodian-Vietnamese War and the Third Indochina War. Key provisions of the agreement. Ceasefire and disarmament. The four warring parties in Cambodia agreed to a ceasefire and disarmament. Refugee repatriation. Provisions were made for the repatriation of Cambodian refugees and displaced persons. UN involvement. The agreement led to the deployment of the United Nations Transitional Authority in Cambodia, UNTAC, the first UN peacekeeping mission since the Cold War where the UN took over governance of a state. Elections and human rights. The agreement promoted human rights, free and fair elections, and principles for a new Cambodian constitution. Significance and outcome. The Paris peace agreements were signed by 19 countries, including Cambodia, in the presence of the United Nations Secretary-General. The agreement aimed to restore peace in Cambodia and ensure the exercise of the right to self-determination of the Cambodian people through free and fair elections. The Paris Peace Agreement on Cambodia, officially known as the Comprehensive Cambodian Peace Agreements, was signed on October 23, 1991. This agreement marked the official end of the Cambodian-Vietnamese War and the Third Indochina War. Key provisions of the agreement. Ceasefire and disarmament. The four warring parties in Cambodia agreed to a ceasefire and disarmament. Refugee repatriation. Provisions were made for the repatriation of Cambodian refugees and displaced persons. UN involvement. The agreement led to the deployment of the United Nations Transitional Authority in Cambodia, UNTAC, the first UN peacekeeping mission since the Cold War where the UN took over governance of a state. Elections and human rights. The agreement promoted human rights, free and fair elections, and principles for a new Cambodian constitution.
So let me just repeat what the video said, that there were 19 countries signed on this peace agreement in Paris, France. And they are United States of America, United Kingdom of England, Cambodia, Thailand, Vietnam, Malaysia, Soviet Union, Canada, India, Laos, Yugoslavia, Brunei, France, Japan, Philippines, Australia, China, Indonesia, and Singapore. So all of these countries, 19 of them, were the witness of a peace agreement between Cambodia and Vietnam that they will help Cambodia to preserve our sovereignty, our territory, and to reconstruct and redevelop Cambodia again, so that it will ensure the human rights, peace, territory, sovereignty of Cambodia, and eventually the reconstruction and redevelopment of Cambodia. But Vietnam continued to creeping in to Cambodia by boat. And now they're settling on Tunle-Sarb, the biggest lake of Cambodia, and they're polluting that water, Kanya.
Well, I'm so sorry to hear that, Nikru. And yes, no, I remember the Paris Peace Accords. It's such an important thing in Cambodia at that time. And like you said, it was signed by 19 countries, right? And it was led by the United Nations. And I do remember that it was that Paris Peace Accords that later on led to the first fair and free election in Cambodia in 1993, because the Paris Peace Accord signed in 1991. And regarding what you were stating regarding the Vietnamese intervention in Cambodia, do you know, did it start right after the implementation of the Paris Peace Accords, or did it just happen recently?
The Vietnam creeping into Cambodia, you mean? What was your question again?
So basically, the purpose of the Paris Peace Accord is to end the conflict, right? The agreement formally ended the Cambodian-Vietnamese War and the long-running civil war, right? But then, based on your comment earlier, you mentioned that Vietnamese they creep in. So my question is, did they creep in since 1991 when they signed the Paris Peace Accord, or did it just happen recently?
That's a very good question, Kanya. The Vietnamese people continue. After the peace agreement in Paris, they started to moving into Cambodia sometimes after 1991, and now they are all over Tunle-Sarb Lake, which is the biggest lake of Cambodia, and it's where we get our most fish from. And they stay on their boats for every 6 years. The Cambodian government would move them onto the Cambodia's land that is around the Tunle-Sarb Lake. Then the new Vietnamese boat would creeping in again. So by the time we get to 6 years, we have tons of Vietnamese boats all over Tunle-Sarb Lake. And the Cambodian government is planning to move them onto the land again. So as far as I'm concerned, if we keep moving them from the water to the land, very soon, all the provinces around the Tunle-Sarb Lake will be full of Vietnamese people. So my question to the government is that, when are you going to send those Vietnamese creepers or those Vietnamese invaders back to their country? Because they came to Cambodia by boat, occupied Tunle-Sarb Lake illegally. So we should send them back. That is my urgently request for the Cambodian government. Start sending them back. Otherwise, Cambodia will be full of Vietnamese people, starting from Tunle-Sarb Lake first, and then the provinces around Tunle-Sarb, and very soon they're going to go into or creeping into the heart of Cambodia. And by the time we realize it, they will be mixed with Cambodian people, which we can't tell which one is Cambodians, which one is Vietnamese. Anyway, our time is up, and we have to say goodbye to our viewers, but we'll see you next week.